My name is Jen. Welcome to Pilates in a Flash. This is a 30-minute intense workout. Today we're going to focus on shoulder to obliques as well as hips and hamstrings. There will be some advanced moves, so you take the class at your own pace. If you need to modify, that's totally fine. If you need to take a break, please take it. I want you to make sure that your space is safe and that today you have a pillow as your prop. So make sure that you have a fairly light pillow as your prop. We're going to start lying down today on the mat and have the pillow near you so that you can grab it. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to lie down on our back today, taking a nice big deep breath in, filling out our rib cage left and right, and letting the air out of our mouth. Breathing in again. Trying to fill out the back of the ribs between the shoulder blades. Noticing where we hold tension. So drop our shoulders away from our ears. Breathe in. Trying to relax our jaw, our neck. And taking note of our neutral spine here. So our head is down on the mat. Our ribs are on the mat. We have a little curve in our low back and our pelvis is fairly level. So our hip bones and our pubic bone are fairly level. For me to get a level pelvis, I have to think about pushing my tailbone down towards the mat just a little bit, okay? So with this neutral spine and level pelvis, I want you to bring one leg up into tabletop and then lower it on down. Bringing the opposite leg up into tabletop, then lower it on down. So we're just alternating, keeping our spine in neutral and focusing on pelvic stability. So keeping our pelvis nice and still by connecting to our low belly and our belly button, pulling them both down towards our spine and the back of our pelvis. So as we lift and lower our leg, our thigh bone is the only thing that moves. Our tailbone doesn't move with our thigh bone, right? So our pelvis stays nice and still. We're only going to do one more right here. Great. We're going to bring both legs up into tabletop. Breathing in nice and deep. I'm going to get you to just flex your feet and point your toes for me. Flex your feet, point your toes. Flex your feet, point your toes. So I want you to focus on really softening the breastbone, those upper ribs and lower ribs start to anchor down and towards the mat, activating our abs and obliques to pull them down and have a nice solid base of support there. Our low back still is off the mat just a little bit, and our pelvis hasn't tilted, right? So we're not bringing our knees towards our chest. Our knees are fairly directly over our hips pretty much, okay? So pointing and flexing those feet here for 3, for 2, for 1. Excellent. We're going to just point our toes nice and hard. We're going to send one toe down towards the mat, then lift it back up. We're going to send the opposite toe down towards the mat and lift it back up. So we're thinking here, again, pelvic stability, neutral spine. Okay, abs are on to hold those ribs down. Low belly is on to hold that pelvis nice and still. If the mat is too far away for you, don't go as far. So only go halfway, then bring that leg back up. As we bring our leg back up with that knee over the hip position, I want you to think of the low belly working a little bit harder to bring that thigh bone back up, okay? So we're not just relying on possibly our low back, definitely not. We're thinking top abs to help us pull that thigh bone back up. Hip flexor into low belly for 3, for 2, low belly pulls down, 1 more. Excellent. Holding here, you're going to extend that right leg away from you and then bring it back in. Extend the left leg away, then bring it back in. Extend the right, okay? You don't have to fully extend, and the lower the leg goes, the more challenging it's going to be on your low belly and abs, okay? The higher you can just kind of bring the leg up towards the ceiling, the easier it's going to be. I want you to think about, again, those lower ribs. So sometimes they like to start to peek off the mat. Breathe in, let the air out of the mouth, and get the lower ribs to stay down on the mat. That doesn't mean we squish out that little curve in our low back. We've got one more right here. Tiny little break. From here, I'm going to keep my arms down by my side. I'm going to squeeze my knees, my inner thighs, and my feet together. And I'm going to rock both legs over to the right, letting my left bum cheek peek up. And then I'm going to come back to center, pause, rock both legs over to the left. Let my right bum cheek peek up. I'm only rocking as far as I can keep most of my ribs and my shoulder blades down on the mat. I'm rocking along my pelvis, not my low back, so that little curve remains there. And I'm keeping it really controlled and really small, okay? I really need to think my anchor points, right? Those ribs really then start to fire up those obliques. Okay, waking those guys up, that cross connection from your hip to that rib. And we're going to do one more over to the left. Exhale, pull the belly button down to spine and lower the feet down. Perfect. From here, I want you to find your feet and I want you to narrow your stance so that your thigh bones are in line with your hips. Right? So your feet are more in line with your sits bones, the back of your bum. Your feet are not wide, they're narrow. You're going to take that pillow, you're going to put it between the thighs. We're going to give it a gentle squeeze. We're going to push into our feet. We're going to lift our pelvis up towards the ceiling and lower it on down. Lifting up towards the ceiling, pushing into those feet, lowering on down. So we're trying to find a connection to our hamstrings and our glutes. Bum cheeks squeeze together as we lift and lower our pelvis. And at the top, we squeeze the pillow just a little bit to activate our inner thighs, okay? So you don't have to put a death squeeze on that pillow. It's just a little squeeze, and then we lower on down. We're gonna go for 8, lift and lower, relax on the way down. 7, start by initiating the movement with our feet first. 6, we're gonna do 5 more, breathe in, connect to the low belly, pull the low belly down, belly button to spine. Okay, we're gonna go for 3. We're going to continue after this 2, and we're going to add an arm lift. 1. So we're going to lift our arms up and then lower our arms down. As we lift our pelvis, our arms come up and we lower them down. So we're lifting our arms up, but we're making sure we're not rolling onto our neck. We're only keeping that base of support in our feet and the tops of the shoulders. So be mindful, the arms come up, but we don't roll onto our neck, right? We're going for 3, arms come up over the shoulders. We're going for 2, good, push into those feet. We're going for 1, we're gonna hold up here. We're gonna come halfway down, the arms stay up, connect into that shoulder, top of shoulders and anchor point, feet are the anchor point. Little squeeze on that pillow as well, that can be constant. And we're just lifting and lowering halfway, feeling a little more glute action, not giving them a break. Bum cheeks are friends. Think about them coming together, not under, right? We keep a little curve in our low back, so we're not tucking that tailbone at any point. We're going for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2. Hold it up here. Level the pelvis, pull the low belly down. Now squeeze the pillow and release. Squeeze the pillow and release. Squeeze the pillow and release. You should feel hips, inner thighs working. Push through your feet for more hamstring. Okay, stay really grounded in the tops of the shoulders. We're going to go for 5. My cheeks are starting to get flush. 4, 3, yep, 2, 1 more squeeze. Lower on down. Excellent. Okay, pillow's going to stay in the middle of the inner thighs. Okay, I'm going to bring my legs back up into tabletop. Actually, I'm going to move the pillow up just a little bit. Okay, hands come behind the head. We're going to do ab curl with our legs and tabletop. I want you to breathe out of your mouth, nod your chin, look at your breastbone, uncurl. So we're doing this nice little curl to come up, and we're going to uncurl to come down. We're making sure that our lower ribs stay on the mat the whole time. So watch when you come down, you don't arc, right? There's not this arcing motion as you come down. The low ribs stay down and the abs don't really get a break when you do uncurl. Low belly keeps that pelvis nice and level. Tailbone is anchored into the mat. I've already forgotten about my inner thighs, so I'm going to squeeze that pillow the whole time. Good. Squeezing that pillow for me adds extra shaking. So I'm shaking more to the sideline of the body as well as my rectus abdominis. So my obliques and rectus abdominis especially when I give that pillow a little squeeze. I just want to make sure that when I squeeze that pillow, I'm not tilting my pelvis to squeeze, okay? So that pelvis stays nice and level. You're going to go for 3. You're going to go for 2. You're going to go for 1. Curl up, uncurl, tiny little break. You're going to take that pillow, you're going to put it onto the tops of the shins. You're going to hold it here. Hands come behind the head. Okay, you're going to do a little ab curl pause. Now you're going to extend your legs, but you're not going to drop the pillow. So it's a little tiny mini double leg extension. Bring it back to make sure that there's a 90-degree bend. Uncurl. So curl, keep that little curve in the low back. Extend those legs so the pillow doesn't drop. Bend the knees to bring the pillow back. Uncurl to come down. 4 more. Curl up, eyes on breastbone. Extend the legs. Level the pelvis. Bend the knees. Uncurl. Eyes on breastbone. Curl up, low belly in. Extend the legs. Thigh bones are the only things moving, right? My pelvis doesn't move. Uncurl. I don't know. 1 more, I think. Eyes on breastbone. Come on up. Extend the legs. Bend the knees. Uncurl. Excellent. Tiny little break. You're going to take that pillow. You're going to put it into your hands. We're going to start to activate the underarm area, which we're going to use quite a bit today. We kind of haven't done anything in prone or quadruped, which means on our hands and knees. So we're going to do a little more work in that position. Before we do that work, we're going to activate our underarms. So you're going to take the pillow and you're going to do a gentle squeeze on the pillow, okay? Shoulders are away from the ears. That squeeze you're going to feel in your hands and your forearms, but I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about squeezing from the tops of the arm bones and your armpits. So your shoulders have to be down away from your ears to kind of activate and feel that underarm working. And it's going to feel almost as if they're kind of puffing up. Or the other kind of image I use is as if you had lovely lemons in your armpits and you're giving them a squeeze. As gross as that sounds, it actually works for trying to activate underneath the armpit area. So your serratus anterior into some lats and possibly obliques as well, okay? So we're thinking, I'm not just squeezing the pillow with my hands. That's not what I want. I want activation higher up in the arm bone, and I want you to think underneath the armpits are helping me move my arm bones to squeeze the pillow. All right, that's enough of that. You're gonna pause. We're just going to rock the ribs over to the right side, then come back to center. We're going to rock the ribs over to the left side, come back to center, okay? We're going over right 1 more time. Hips don't move, legs don't move. Excellent. Holding the pillow up here, legs come into tabletop. Excellent. We're going to stay down with our head down. We're going to send our arms back. Both legs are going to extend away from us, and then we're going to bring the pillow in towards our knees. We're going to extend the legs and the arms, breathing in, making sure our spine remains in neutral so all the ribs are down on the mat and that pelvis does not rock. It does not move. It's just the thigh bone moving in the hip socket. So if you feel like your tailbone starts to peek off the mat, breathe in, cement it down, pull the belly down, low belly down especially for 4. Good. For 3. Okay, for 2, good, for 1, arms go overhead, excellent. From here, we're actually going to keep the pillow up. Last little move here, then we're going to move on. Pillow stays up, we keep a gentle squeeze on it. We're going to do that hip sway that we did, but we're going to make it even smaller because we've lessened the base of support. Our arms were down on the mat, and now they're up towards the ceiling. So now I want to squeeze my feet, my knees, my inner thighs. Okay, level the pelvis, little curve in the low back, pull the ribs down towards the mat. Send both legs over to the right to peek my left bum cheek off the mat like a pendulum. Then back to center. Pull the belly button down the whole time. Send my legs over to the left. Come back to center, okay? So it is small and it is controlled. I can squeeze the pillow and you should feel extra side body working here, okay? to help you maintain that anchor point. That anchor point is your rib cage and shoulder blades. So those do not peek off the mat. It's just the opposite bum cheek. Low belly in. Do not roll along the low back. There's still a little space there. So send the knees away just a smidge to make sure you're rolling along the back of the pelvis. For 3, for 2, low belly in, 1, send the legs over with control. Excellent. Legs go down. Perfect, guys. Okay, so we're going to flip over. We're going to come onto our hands and knees. I'm just going to move the pillow up towards the top of the mat for now. I want you to round, breathe in, shoulders away from the ears. And then uncurl, eyes come up, breastbone comes forward. Try not to drop your whole body down towards the mat. It's just a little curve in the low back. We don't overextend it. We're going to drop our head down towards the mat again, making this angry cat position, pulling the spine up between the shoulder blades, tucking the tailbone and bringing that belly button in towards the spine. Eyes come up, tailbone shoots back behind you, breastbone comes forward just a smidge, and breathe. From here, we're just going to bring our breastbone up away from the mat and then lower it on down. So what we're doing is just moving our shoulder blades towards our spine and away from our spine. And when we do that, it's causing our rib cage to move towards the mat and away from the mat. But it does not affect our low back. So our low back remains the same and our tailbone stays shooting out behind us. I'm not rounding now. It's just my rib cage. So if you've never done this before, it actually takes a little bit of thought, like all Pilates moves do, and effort to kind of think, just isolate that breastbone, let it come down towards the mat, and then lift the breastbone away from the mat. I'm not bending my elbows to do this. My elbows stay straight, fairly straight, okay? Not locked out, but fairly straight, and my shoulders stay away from my ears. What you should feel, again, is underarms, helping you lift the breastbone away and pulling the shoulder blades around the rib cage. So pause, lift the breastbone up. Good. Now, you're going to remember this position. You're going to come down onto your forearms, okay? And you're going to do just a plank from your knees. So we're going to lie and we're going to shuffle the knees back in space so that you're a long angle, okay? Shoulders away from the ears. Pull the breastbone up, untuck the tailbone, pull the belly button up, and hold. So your goal is to fill out between the shoulder blades so that your chest isn't sinking down, right? My chest is up, my shoulders are down, and I feel like my shoulder blades are wrapped around my rib cage. Underarms are on for 3, for 2, for 1. Good. Little break, push back, child's pose. Okay, arms can extend overhead. We're going to come back onto our hands and knees. We're going to do a little knee lift. Again, hands are underneath the shoulders, shoulders away from the ears. Breastbone up, untuck the tailbone. I'm going to dig my toes into the ground, and I'm just going to hover my knees 1 inch off the ground, and then lower on down. Okay, lift the breastbone if it's fallen, untuck the tailbone, hover my knees 1 inch off the ground, and lower on down. I'm going to continue this. Shoulders stay away from the ears. My breastbone stays lifted the whole time. I'm feeling for underarm area into side body to help me lift my knees up. At no point do I tuck under to lift. And I honestly have had a dirty habit of doing that forever. So it's hard for me to focus on everything and keep my tailbone out the whole time, to keep a nice little curve in that low back. But try your best not to tuck and take your time. If you do it fast, you might fall into old habits, okay, and old positions. I don't want you to hold that old position. I want a neutral spine, which means breastbone up, tailbone untucked, little curve in the low back. We're going to do one more. Lift and lower, lift and lower. Good. Okay, shake out your wrists. It's a lot for the wrists. We're going to go side lying here. We're going to do some glutes, and then we're going to come back to that. So, pillow, you can put it underneath your head. I'm going to just move my pillow out of the way. I'm going to lay down on my bottom arm. It's a little more comfortable for me to do it like that. Knees are bent, feet are flexed. Okay, hips are stacked. Untuck the tailbone. So that tailbone is not tucked under. It's out back behind you, so you have a little curve in your low back. It's not big, but it's there. Then you pull the low belly in. My oblique is up off the mat, just a little, and I'm going to lift and lower that leg. Okay, so lifting and lowering a bent leg. As I lift and lower, I feel for that hip. That top hip at no point comes into my ribs, right? So it's not coming into my ribs. It's not shaking, moving, or anything. It stays dead still, forcing my hip muscles and my glutes to lift my leg away from the midline. I'm not opening up my knees, so my knee doesn't open. It's as if there's a plate on my leg and I'm lifting that plate straight up towards the ceiling and down. Good. We're going to go for 5. This is not a ton of work, although for some people it might be. Okay, 4, depending on how weak or strong your glutes are. 3. Okay, at any point you take a break. 2, 1. Now, did your tailbone start to tuck under a bit? Untuck it, okay? So untuck it. One side for me tucks more than the other. I don't know why. Things are a little bit crooked. That's fine. We're going to lift it up. We're going to come halfway down and up, halfway down and up, halfway down and up, halfway down and up. So a nice little pulse, but at no point do I tuck that tailbone. In fact, on this side, I have to think about keeping that tailbone out back behind me every single round. My hip doesn't move. My tailbone stays untucked. My low belly pulls in. Okay, now I start to feel, okay, side bum into hip. Good. We're going to go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Flex the foot really hard. I want you to open the thigh bone, and then I want you to close the thigh bone. I want you to open the thigh bone, and then I want you to close the thigh bone. And so we're rotating the thigh bone in the hip socket. You should feel side bum, hip, back of bum, inner thigh, all working to do this motion. At no point does my pelvis move to help me move my thigh bone, okay? We're going to go for 5, opening and closing. We're going to go for 4. We're going to go for 3, untuck that tailbone. 2, there we go. 1, I'm doing 1 extra because I cheated. 1 extra, good, okay, lower it on down. I want you to swing around and do the opposite side for me so that we have both sides done and ready to go. Coming on down, okay, flex those feet, lift and lower that top leg, untuck the tailbone as we do this. I'm not opening my knee up towards the sky. I'm lifting my leg straight up and down as if there was a plate on that leg, okay? So try to keep your eyes looking forward and your ears over your shoulders. We're not a question mark, so oftentimes we end up kind of crunched over like this. Straighten up that upper back. Breathe into that rib cage. And keep that tailbone untucked the whole time. So there's a little curve in that low back. We pull our belly in to support that little curve, right? We're going for 5. We're going for 4. You might feel the bottom leg working. That's fine. 3, okay? Try not to shift the hips. 2, 1, okay? A little halfway down and up. Halfway down and up. Hips don't move. Pelvis stays still. Untuck the tailbone again. If it sneaks under, good. Lift lower, lift lower, lift lower for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Open the thigh bone, drop the knee down to close the thigh bone. So we're rotating just the thigh bone, opening it up, rotating it down. Untuck the tailbone. You got it. We're going to go for 6, rotate, untuck. 5, yeah. 4, 3, 2, there we go. 1 more, open, close. Good. Okay, we're coming back to our forearms. You can push back into child's pose to give your bum a nice little stretchy feeling, okay? So that we open up those sits bones nice and wide. Arms are overhead, that's fine. Breathe in. I want you to push back into down dog for me. So you're going to bring your feet underneath you. You're gonna lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling, and you're gonna push with your arms back to down dog. Now, in down dog, I don't want you to be tucked under. I want you to shoot your tailbone back behind you, pull your low belly in. As well, think about that rest bone. So we're not sagging down, we are lifted up. So my spine is in a pretty neutral position, okay? From here, you can pedal your feet out and take a second. Now I want you to shift the weight forward, pause, lift the breastbone, untuck the tailbone, pull the low belly up, and then push back. So we're trying to think about that nice high plank. Okay, move the body forward, lift the breastbone up to get rid of the space between the shoulder blades, right? Low belly in, I'm gonna drop my tailbone and my pelvis just a little, and then I'm gonna push back into down dog. Breathe in, float forward, lift the breastbone, there's the armpits and underarms, shoulders away from the ears, lower the pelvis down, squeeze the bum, squeeze the thighs, low belly up, and then push back into down dog. One more. Float forward, breathe in, ribs up, low belly up, untuck the tailbone, lift the breastbone, armpits on. 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees, come into child's pose. Good job. Okie dokie. From here, we're going to come back down onto our forearms. We're going to shoot our legs back behind us. Okay, we're going to do our third plank. Shoulders away from the ears. If you want to just hang out on your knees, you absolutely can. Okay, I'm going to push into my toes, and I'm going to lift on up. Excellent. And I'm going to hold here. I'm going to bring my breastbone away from the floor. I'm going to squeeze my bum cheeks together, not under, and I'm going to hold. Okay, from here, I want you to lift and lower one leg just a tiny bit. So we're going to lift the right leg up, and then we're going to lower. And then we're going to lift the left leg up, and then we're going to lower. Our hips don't sway. I push into the opposite arm to foot to lift and lower. Low belly up, breastbone up, don't tuck the tailbone. I'm only going to do 2 more. 1. Excellent. Last one right here. Bend the knees. Come back into child's pose. Good work. Good job, guys. I'm going to come onto my knees and I'm going to do a little side bend. Okay, so I'm going to reach my right arm up and over. Breathing in. Good. And I'm going to reach my left arm up and over. One more time each side. Breathe in, fill up the ribs. We've got one more move, okay? So we're going to take the pillow. We're going to flex the feet. We're going to hinge back with a flat back, breathing into the rib cage. So we're going to let the body move back in space, but we're not going to lose that little curve in the low back. My belly button comes in and wide. Pause. I'm going to hold here. I'm going to bring the pillow up towards the ceiling and then down towards the knees. Okay? Up towards the ceiling and then down towards the knees. We're going to go for 3. Keep pulling in the low belly. Okay? Keep flexing the feet nice and hard. 2. Feel side body. Abs are working. 1. Excellent. Sit back up. We're going to add a leg lift to this, okay? So shoulders down. If you're not comfortable, you do not have to do it. You can actually get rid of the pillow. You can go single arm instead of double, okay? Because double arm up is quite challenging. If you feel a little pain in your low back, don't go back as far. And also, truly think about sitting up and pulling in that belly before you start to lean back, okay? So pillow out in front, flex the feet, belly button to spine, shoulders down. Breathe in, hinge back, pause. Pillow's gonna go up, pause. Right foot's gonna come up and lower on down. Left foot is gonna come up and lower on down. Pillow's gonna come down, okay? Pillow goes up, right foot comes up, left foot comes up, lower the pillow. 2 more. Pillow comes up. Can you go back a little bit further? Right leg comes up, left leg comes up, lower the feet down, lower the pillow down. One more. Breathe in, belly button to spine, shoulders stay down as the pillow lifts up. Good, lower the pillow, come on back. Excellent. So now we're gonna go for both feet in the air, okay? It's a bit challenging, on balance and all that good stuff. If you can't do it, it's all good, okay? So we're gonna go flex the feet, sit up tall, shoulders away from the ears. Last move, pull the belly button in towards the spine, hinge back, pause. Pillow goes up, right foot goes up, okay? Pause, left foot goes up, right foot goes down, left foot goes down, come back up to seated. Okay, we're gonna do it again. Belly button to spine, fill out the back ribs. Little curve in the low back stays there as we hinge back. Pillow goes up, right foot goes up, left foot goes up. Pause, belly button to spine, lower down, come back up. 2 more times, we leave with the left leg, okay? So, low belly in, hinge back, pillow goes up, left foot goes up, right foot goes up. Pause. Feet go down, pillow goes down. I almost lost it. Okay, so sit up nice and tall. Last one, okay? Low belly in, breathe into the back of the ribs, lean back, pillow goes up, pause. Low belly in again, belly button to spine, left leg, right leg, pause. For 3, for 2, don't tuck under. 1, feet down, sit back up. Good job. I'm gonna roll all the way down, okay? So all the way down. My legs can be out in front of me, my arms by my hips. I'm just gonna move my legs a little bit here. So I'm just moving my thigh bones, okay? From here, I'm gonna think about bending my knees, putting my feet back onto the mat. Arms are gonna come up, and I'm just gonna rock my rib cage one direction and the opposite direction. Eyes can follow. Good. One more. Okay, my arms are gonna come down, my feet are gonna get really wide, and then I'm just gonna windshield wiper my legs. Breathing in and out. Good. Excellent work, guys. I'm going to sit on up slowly, rolling onto my right side. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're feeling nice and strong, and I will see you next week. Bye.